the pull-up. Yes, we all know what the pull-up is. It's the way your favorite character can pull up on the scene and retain his aura. And we see people who are masters at this. Yes, Piccolo, I'm talking about you. One thing we can't deny is Piccolo's pull-ups are elite. You can tell he's trying to show us the fit. This man denied the laws of physics to farm aura. How did his cape blow from one direction and start blowing the other way to reveal himself? He's not real. But with that being said, in my opinion, what makes you in the upper echelon of pulling up is not just about how you arrive. That might get you some points on the lower tiers, because let me tell you, as much credit as I just gave Piccolo, this man gets dropped every single time. It's unbelievable. You could say his best performance was in Cooler, but when I tell you, every time this man pulls up, not even a minute after he's on the ground with 1 HP, he needs a med kit. Now, in this video, we're gonna talk about 3 moments where the arrival to the action was a 10 out of 10. So get y'all popcorn ready, because this is going to be a long one. And what better way to start than with Goku on Namek? Before we get to him actually showing up, I have to give context on how bad this scene was at first. Vegeta just used one of his most powerful rushes to take down Raccoon, giving him the double axe hammer, finishing him off with a beam, just for Raccoon to eat that junk for dinner. This man was standing there unfazed. His whole outfit was gone and he was looking at Vegeta like he did nothing. Raccoon retaliates and was on the rest of the crew heavy. He finishes Vegeta off by grabbing him with 2 hands and body slamming him into the ground. Krillin then gets done the worst way, as one kick broke every bone in his body. Send him to the ER. And Gohan, oh man, Gohan, I just feel bad for Gohan. He was just 5 years old, having to face planet busters and 7'7" behemoths. You can only feel for him, because the responsibility that he had to hold was just way too much. But Raccoon didn't even care. Yeah, this man Raccoon was just menacing. He was fighting a child, but the moment Gohan slips up in their battle and goes for a battle cry dive, Raccoon styles on him and kicks him in the neck. The main character's son is on the ground, so you know what's up when the main character appears. But then we get to the meat and bones of this moment. Goku finally gets on Namek, and the aura was already oozing the minute the door opened. When was the last time you seen the glare from the sunlight hit Goku like this? And he knew it too. You're not slick. But that's not even where it ends. Goku is very intentional, because peep game. From the distance, a red blast hits Raccoon and all it does is turn him around. It doesn't injure him. It doesn't even burn him. The thing is, why would Goku send a blast that does nothing but just shift the man's position? It is only to farm for aura. You can't make this up. Raccoon looks behind his shoulder and sees Goku with his back turned, flexing the symbol off his gi. Once again, Goku, I'm familiar with your game, because Goku tries to act like this wasn't his intention, but we all know. But once he walks around and sees Gohan on 1 HP, you know the belt to buns was set in stone. Goku wants this beatdown to be a slow burn, and he makes sure to keep his mystique, because that is what he wants to hold. He knew people were watching. Vegeta was in the back thinking to himself, Goku achieved the legend, Super Saiyan. When Raccoon disrespects Goku with a bird, he responds with a cheeky smile. Now let me tell you, GG's Raccoon, you might as well start logging off, because if Goku is smirking, if Goku is smiling before fighting you, you know it's over. Goku started to trash talk. That's how bad it was. His best friend Krillin, his brother, was shocked. Raccoon tries to charge at Goku and he's gone. He's not near Gohan and Krillin. He's not even near Vegeta. But behind Raccoon's homies, he's too fast for them. Raccoon goes for one more move, and his IQ has to be questioned here. I think bro lost his brain cells when Vegeta attacked him. That's probably what happened. Because he sits there to charge up a move for like 20 minutes. And when it's finally ready, Goku gave him one elbow straight in the chest. Had him folded over with the yeeks in the air. I know the smell was vile. I would say this is where it ended, but there's more. Jace is actually questioning if fighting him is even worth it at this point. I know y'all see the sweat off of his forehead. Goku gives them one more out. Just go. He gives them one more chance to just run away, but instead of leaving, they stayed prideful. Now what happens here is where Goku took the disrespect to the max. Birder and Jace charge at Goku multiple times, shooting deadly beams at a wild rate, and Goku is just standing there, unfazed. But that's until they zoom in on the ground and we see that Goku was dodging the whole time. Jace stops in front of Goku, and before Jace could even finish talking, Goku jabs him straight in the face. Me personally, I don't know if I'm letting that happen to me, but hey, I digress. Birder tries to come from the back door to help his friend, but it doesn't work. Goku catches both attacks, knees Jace, and Slick hit the cleanest move. Goku goes for a sweep and hits the breakdance move after it. Goku then drops the jokes and decides to assert his dominance. The fight goes on and they're trying everything on Goku, team blast, jumping him, but the end was inevitable and Goku causes them both to hit one another, and as Birder is falling from the sky, he hits the same move he did to Nappa back from the Saiyan Saga. The gut punch holding him in the air. I'm surprised this move didn't become a staple. I will say I respect how he still showed mercy to Jace. It makes his dominance even more assuring here. Goku did his thing on Namek, and this wasn't even the last time he pulled up like this. But that's all for Goku. Now, we have to shift to a moment that changed the tide of the world. Now, I'm not gonna hold y'all. The tone of the vid will get a bit more serious, because Whitebeard's pull up to Marineford was generational. Now I will say, when I was watching the arcs leading up to this moment, I remember thinking to myself, who is this Whitebeard dude that they keep mentioning? They was glazing Whitebeard. I don't think y'all understand. The way they were talking about Whitebeard leading up to the battle was crazy.
Bro, he was dead, bro. If he wanted you out of there, he would go do it himself on feet by himself.
What? Dude, something's wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not regular, man.
But I actually prayed. Let us get breaking news that LeBron has, tore his ACL. Jesus.
There were kids dancing outside, singing a song, calling Whitebeard the devil. He was described as a one-man army, so the anticipation that One Piece built, I just had to see it for myself, and man, they delivered. The thing about this moment was that they knew Whitebeard would show up. Everybody knew and expected his coming. They have his son chained up, ready to be executed in the middle on live television. And the closer his scheduled time was, the more tense the air got. Anxiety rose because of the man leading the army into war. The Marines were stacked for Whitebeard. Let me paint this picture. They had the 7 warlords of the sea at bay, the 3 admirals posted up, and Garp being right beside the fleet admiral himself, Sengoku. All of these big guns, and they couldn't shake that something still fell off. Looking into the distance, Sengoku expected Whitebeard to be at Marineford a while ago, but all he saw was nothingness. Just the sound of waves with the wind blowing, and then ships pop up out of nowhere. I'm talking at least 40 deep. Pirate crews not even under Whitebeard's name are heading straight for the base. And even then, Sengoku still can't find the man they fear most. He's looking left to right, yet he sees no one. At least not the man he's looking for. But as the ships approach, they slow down right before reaching the center, because the center of attraction has arrived. Bubbles start forming right in the middle of the area, and from under the ocean, the Whitebeard pirates have pulled up. The division commanders showed themselves. They wasn't about to lose this war. Well, they did lose. Let me stop. And finally, the emperor they were waiting to see the most starts walking up the stairs slowly. Each step you could feel the aura getting closer. Whitebeard finally reaches the top and greets all of Marineford. Now Whitebeard greets the heads with a warm welcome, laughing He's actually pretty chill. He's just saying, hey, I'm just here to make sure my son's straight. And he actually talks to Ace directly. But the reason why Sengoku was shaking in his boots, because although he seemed chill, Whitebeard wasn't really laughing for him. Y'all know that moment where y'all can tell two people are laughing, but they're not really laughing because it's funny. They're laughing because they slight rage baiting each other. That's basically what was happening. Because Whitebeard didn't really find anything funny. He was there for straight smoke. You don't know what this man's next move was gonna be, and he was standing right in front of you. But this is when I knew Whitebeard was for real what they said he was. This man decides to flex and causes an earthquake at Marineford. Now with the war officially started, what's crazy is that Whitebeard doesn't even move from his position for like 30 minutes. And it wasn't like people weren't trying to attack him either. You had Mihawk trying to slice him directly. You had Crocodile trying to sneak on him. And then you had this giant, before he can even finish his own attack, his entire weapon gets shattered and his head was flattened. But when Whitebeard finally sets his foot on the ground, it was over. 2 cannonballs fly in his direction. 1 punch sends him right back. Then a vice admiral who was about 20 feet makes his biggest mistake. He attacked an active Whitebeard. Whitebeard just tilted the entire sea. Bro, I was so hyped, but I think I was yelling at this moment. I don't even remember. This right here solidifies what makes Whitebeard's pull-up so tough. Now y'all, for the last pull-up of this vid, this one might be the most diabolical one in anime history. We are talking about Eren from Attack on Titan. I feel like some of y'all did see this one coming. This man seen the future and knew how his pull-up would take place before he even thought of it himself. This was a tactical masterclass. Eren decided to go undercover to the nation of Marley, the land where they called his people devils, so he can observe and understand the culture. And he went through some real injuries to even get the opportunity. Like, if you're willing to pluck a bullet and stick it in your pause, I might get demonetized here, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. If you're going this far, bro, you know he was fiending for freedom. He did this to mask any suspicion of who he truly was on Marley. Eren, while getting to know the people, actually built a connection. He got close with one kid, Falco. Falco was a young soldier who was kind and looked out for Eren. He had deep conversations with him and even covered his behind, because he's the reason why Eren didn't even get deported back to Parody Island. Falco was good intentions. He was trying his best to be the next warrior. You know, the same warrior Reiner was that terrorized Eren's home. But even Eren can see how his intent wasn't from a bad place. It was, in his perspective, to save the world. Falco genuinely thought what Eren and him had was a real friendship. And Eren did care for him. But the thing was, Falco was just a pawn. He was just a piece on the chessboard, a cog in the wheel of his master plan. Eren was moving grimy this whole time. The moment he tells Falco to send a letter to his family back home, the final plan for his pull-up was set in motion. The Survey Corps got that letter and they knew exactly what time it was. The night of the Liberio festival. This was the moment where all citizens of Marley came and celebrated. But even with it being a celebratory gathering, this man Tiber was shaking in his boots. He had to deliver a speech on the biggest stage, a speech that will change the fate of the world forever. And while he was about to deliver this speech, right underneath him was Eren Yeager. Now before Eren even shifts gears, he manipulated Falco again. And just pause on this, because Falco, how do you get crossed this bad? Falco just tore his ACL and MCL. He had Falco bring Reiner right to him, just to talk, of course, or at least that's what we thought. The same guy who destroyed his home, Reiner, to have a relaxing, calming conversation. When Reiner walked in, he legit looked like he seen a ghost. Petrified. Immediately, Falco is looking like,
hey bro, I thought y'all was friends. Y'all best friends, no?
what's going on? The only thing though is that this calm conversation took place in the base of a building full of people. Off rip, Eren sets the tone and lets Reiner know at any moment this whole thing could blow up. All Reiner could do was sit and hope for the best. Now Eren has the most blank expression. It's cold and it gives the chills. The way the room felt, Falco knew in this moment he messed up. And while all of this is going on, Tiber's speech begins. Eren lets the speech filled with lies, demonizing his home, be the cue for his arrival. Reiner is a man who knows the truth. He knows what really happened back at Paradis Island. Eren isn't just warring against a people, but an ideology. The speech gets to a point where Tiber makes known that the person who has the power to destroy the entire world is Eren Yeager. Eren heard his name and started doing his little warm-up routine, shaking his shoulders off, getting loose, healing back to true form. And Falco is appalled and betrayed, but Eren knows all too well how he already feels. Eren starts stepping in the villain role. He breaks down the philosophy of Marley and how in his views they were the villains. But what makes this scene even more atrocious, terrible, is how Reiner thought Eren pointing this out was a call for peace. Reiner is on the ground apologizing, on his knees expressing his guilt, and he looked up and seen Eren's head, and I know he thought, this is it. He understands me now. He's going to change. Man, Eren picks this man's hand up and says how he will keep moving forward. And that was just the first part of the sentence. He then says, Eren starts transforming on the spot, and he timed his pull-up. The moment the war was declared, we see the coldest shot of the attack titan. This had me appalled. To make one of the first casualties of war be the man who declared it from the jump, just to strike more terror to the people of Marley, is OD. But with that being said, the pull-up in anime is an art form. There are so many ways a character can decide to show up on the scene, and we see characters in the medium who make sure it leaves an impact. But anyways, y'all, that's it. If y'all want a part 2 to this vid, let me know, and make sure y'all like and subscribe. And by the way, you guys, I'm actually looking for an editor, so if you know an editor or if you're an editor yourself, just hit me up in the email so we can talk further business there. But thanks for watching. God bless and peace.